Tonight, we reinforce the fact that Gordon Ramsay cannot drive in America, and we also found out he's bad at speaking Spanish. It's Los Toros Mexican Restaurant here on AfterBuzz TV. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Just like, it's like the most American Spanish accent possible.
Right?
What is up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here doing 24 hours to hell and back. I am your host, Mike Thieling. Sad stuff, Zia is not with us. She picked the wrong episode to not be here for because this was a really, really good episode. However, I am graced by the amazing Jennifer.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Jennifer, you're like an old veteran here on 24 Hours to Hell and Back. The fans know you. They love you. We're going to go through, we're going to talk about the whole renovation. Of course, guys, we're going to do our special segments, Would We Eat There? And we're also going to take a look at their Yelp reviews to see how they're doing. But first, Jen, what did you think overall thoughts of this episode?
There was a lot of drama, suspense, and a lot of crying.
There's a lot of crying. That's right. That's right.
There was a lot of crying.
I liked it.
I did.
There was a good mix this episode, I think, of the drama and the kind of friction we see, but then also some transformation.
Yes, definitely.
So this is pretty cool because AfterBuzz, we film out of Los Angeles. So Chatsworth is kind of right in our backyard.
It literally is.
We've had 2 weeks in a row now of Los Angeles-based restaurants. That's fantastic. And we've got Los Toros Mexican Restaurant. Now, the big thing about them, they were started back in the 60s. They were the first and only Mexican restaurant in Chatsworth.
Yes.
Right? So Nick is the owner right now, inherited it from his father, who unfortunately passed away. And there's really something to be said when you're the first and the only of something in the area, right? That just lends its own kind of credence and cachet to it.
Yeah, I feel like it causes a lot of stress too because you got to be the top-notch restaurant, and if it's the only Mexican restaurant, you got to give it out there.
Is it that? Do you have to give it out there, or does everybody around there kind of not know any better and just like, well, this is good?
It might be both.
It's probably a little bit of both. It's probably a little bit, but I got the sense, tell me what you thought. I got the sense that the origins of the restaurant in the beginning were really, really good. That
Yes.
Nick's dad, you know, it sounded like he was very, very stressed, which is not healthy, but it sounded like he really poured his heart into it and he was doing a good job with the restaurant.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I mean, like you said, he gave it all his all until he passed away, unfortunately. You know, he did love it. He was very passionate, unlike Nick Sr.
That's right.
Nick Sr.
Nick Sr.
Yeah.
So we know he was in the forces, in the reserves, and his father called him back to help with the restaurant. He really didn't want to come back.
He didn't.
So that's kind of where we saw this episode, the beginning of him kind of crumbling, right?
Yes.
Where over and over and over again, we see Gordon Ramsay talk to owners who have lost their mojo. They've lost their spark for the restaurant. And Nick said that he wanted to pass on the restaurant to his kids. He wanted his kids to step up, but they weren't really interested in that. Do you think that their disinterest stems from their dad's lack of interest?
I believe so, because, you know, from the beginning, Nick Sr., that wasn't his number one passion. So he basically did it for his dad, you know. And, you know, so the kids saw that throughout the years, you know, he was stressed. He wasn't so passionate about it. I'm pretty sure his father, Nick Sr.'s father, was actually very passionate about it. You know, he poured his heart out, especially back in the days in the 60s when he opened the restaurant. I'm pretty sure there was not a lot of Mexican restaurants or anything like that. So there was a lot of people coming in and, you know, wanting to eat there. And, you know, the fact that, you know, he put all that passion out there and, you know, people are continually coming. You know, it was probably exciting and stressful at the same time. And, you know, Nick Sr. coming in and not really wanting it from the very beginning. That kind of, you know, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to work hard for my dad, but it's not my passion. So.
And that kind of sets the stage for the whole restaurant. We go in, we see kind of what we're working with. A lot of loud colors. I got the feeling that it probably hasn't been renovated since Nick's dad passed away. A lot of loud colors, vibrant, but old-fashioned. Like we see with all these restaurants in this show, just no updating, not being kept up. And we know Nick's got high blood pressure, so his health is failing, probably due large part to the stress of the restaurant. and they're in very, very big debt. 400. Let's just call it $500,000. They're in debt $500,000. I cannot fathom owing $500,000 if it wasn't on like a house. It's just like dead debt, right?
Yeah.
You're not getting anything back from it, and that's kind of where we start for this restaurant.
Right.
We get Gordon dressing up like Grandpa. And being like, did you think, like, is it just me, or was Gordon, like, really overly frisky with his fake wife?
Yes, overly.
That was strange.
Did you hear that comment he made about his birthday? Like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what?
And I couldn't tell. Did you think those two guys were her actual kids? Or were they just actors?
I don't know. Okay, I was really confused. So were they actors, or was that really his family?
Oh, that's not his family.
No, okay.
That's for sure not
Okay,
his family.
okay.
But I don't know if he just jumped into like a dad role with an existing family. Because if he did, it's really creepy stuff to say to your mom. Because it's not like they're 5 either. They're kind of
Right,
adult
they
kids.
are.
Those two guys are like, why are you talking to our mom? Like, was very, very strange.
Crazy.
So old man Ramsay is sitting there at the table, and as you'd expect, they go through, they order, you know, classic Mexican dishes. And that's what you want, right? If you're this style restaurant in a niche, very, very good, but you want to do the classics,
Of course,
right?
definitely.
You know, if you can't do tamales, if you can't do mole sauce, what are you doing, right?
Yeah, what are you doing? Seriously.
What are you doing? So they get it. We find out all the bad stuff, right? The tamales are pre-packaged. The beef, the meat is all rancid. Everything's gone off. It's all soured, as we'd expect. And we just see the result of this family who either has given up or completely has no passion. So the cast of characters, we got Nick, obviously, like we said, is the owner. We have the two kids, Maribel and Nick Jr., and then Lucia, the wife. And we have some other staff members running around. And this is very exciting. Guys, this is amazingly exciting. We've been waiting all season, not understanding how Gordon Ramsay is getting away with these ridiculously bad disguises. Finally, today, one of the staff members takes the order, goes back to the kitchen, and writes Gordon Ramsay down. It's like, thank you, finally.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it's him. And he has been outed and exposed. And then he was like, yep, cool. I also love, did you love this? That he
my God.
realized that they found him out.
Yeah. I you know, I didn't realize that until later. I was like, maybe you can tell. But then when I started looking at him more, I was like, you can tell that's Gordon Ramsay.
Come
I was
on.
like, you can tell right away that
You
that's
know it.
him.
Okay, you've applied to be on the show, and there's a random person comes in with terrible, obvious makeup on. Finally, someone realized it. So Gordon jumps out, jumps back in. This, by the way, we're going to talk about this. This was the most gangster move that's ever happened in a Gordon Ramsay show. He walks in the restaurant. The greeter is like, "Oh, hey, Gordon." He was like, "Yeah, hi," and just like bam, like right by
Oh my
her.
God, that was legendary.
He
To
didn't even
me,
give her the
I love
time of
it.
day.
He did not. He
was
was just
like,
like,
"Yup.
hi, bye. There
I
you go."
own this restaurant now for the next day. You are mine.
Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
He gave her little to no respect because he knew he had a job to do.
Yeah.
But we give a lot of respect to all the people out there who are watching us. And I believe you have a short message for our friends.
Yes. Hey, guys. So before we move on to our next topic, we just want to thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. For us to continue to grow, we could use your help. If you're on YouTube right now, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you're on iTunes, please give us that 5-star rating. But no matter where you are, please leave us a comment, and so you can get involved in our conversation. Being part of our AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to all of us, and we truly appreciate you supporting us in doing what we love. Don't forget to tell your friends and keep enjoying our shows.
It's super true. I say every single time, every single episode of AfterBuzz TV I do here, my wife does not let me talk about this stuff at home. So please keep watching. I
Yes.
need friends to talk to about these reality shows,
Yes.
as I do a
Yes.
lot. Yes. So did you find this crazy too? Did you get the sense when Gordon does his reveal and he comes in there that the owner at this point in time wanted nothing to do with it? Because he even says Gordon Ramsay's a douche. It's like, wait a minute. Did you get the sense? My gut was that he actually didn't apply to be on the show.
Yeah, I think before he even got a conversation out with Ramsay, he was already like, just being so rude, and it's just kind of like, well, he's here to help you. Obviously, I think most of the time what happens with these owners, I feel, is that they don't like hearing the truth. They don't like hearing the truth.
Right.
And,
It's an ego thing.
It's an ego thing. It's like, well, yes, I applied, but who are you to tell me what to do with my restaurant?
Right.
But they just don't like it. They don't like it, because Gordon Ramsay's straight out. He's not going to sugarcoat it. He's not going to say, well, this is what. No, he's going to tell you your restaurant sucks.
Right.
This food's disgusting. What are you doing? Get out.
Because we say it every time. How are these people so rude to him? They applied to be on the show. They got on the show. You know, if you're on the show, your restaurant's going to get all fixed up. You're going to get all new stuff. What are they doing? It dawned on me for this one. I said, you know what? I bet Nick didn't apply to be on the show. I bet his wife did.
Probably.
Or his kids did. Or somebody. Because he was just super negative right off the bat.
Yeah, he was.
And then, of course, we get the reveal of all the junk in the kitchen. This was a bad one.
Wow.
Kitchen was super dirty, gunk everywhere, right? None of the food was labeled. That's huge. None of the food was labeled because everything was spoiled or going rotten. All the protein, all the produce, everything was spoiled, moldy, gross, disgusting. A year old because he couldn't read 2019 or 2018. Like, come on, man. Every single, for the most part, all these restaurants have a huge problem in over ordering their food. Do you think it's because they're getting it on a discount and they're just trying to save money? Or if you know your restaurant's doing bad and you're not serving that many tables, why are they ordering so much food?
That's crazy to me because, I feel like that's what it is. I feel like it's the discounted, like, hey, we're going to give you this much meat for this price. Hey, let's get it. Let's keep it and stuff. But it just, like you said, the restaurant wasn't going good. Why would you want to order all this meat and stuff like that?
I mean, I make dinner for my wife and I at a night. That's one table. I don't need to buy like 30 pounds of Costco chicken and keep it in my refrigerator so that it spoils and goes bad. Gordon said there was like $5,000 worth of food that's just spoiled there in the background.
It's spoiled.
Completely unnecessary.
Yeah, and also Nick Sr., he kept saying, oh, well, maybe. No, it was like the meat was there for, oh, yeah, I guess it was from today, or maybe. And he kept saying that. And Gordon was like, you keep saying maybe, but I don't understand, like, what is it that here? What is going on here?
Well, how scared are you to know that there are chefs out there that can't smell when food is gone spoiled?
Exactly. Not even him, because he wasn't even a chef, but just a business owner, a restaurant manager for 52 years. This restaurant's been open for 52 years. You should know already by then how meat smells.
If you haven't developed a palate by then, you're in big trouble in the restaurant industry, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so Nick is kind of removed as an owner. His wife and kids, they're a little bit blasé about it. They are embarrassed, right? So Nick is putting up some of a defense, but rightly so. The kids and Lucia, his wife, are embarrassed about the situation going on. And that's where I think it needs to start from. But then we removed Nick, and he has a real heart-to-heart with Gordon Ramsay up in the office.
Yes. I think it was pretty sad, because, that's when he really showed his true colors, and, he kind of explained what was going on and things like that. But, I just feel that sometimes at this point, with these shows, it's kind of sad to hear their stories and everything, and maybe how they are not passionate about, the decisions they made. For example, he didn't want this restaurant from the beginning, but it's just like, well, we're here, I at this point, I feel like I don't feel sorry for them, because I feel like, what's going on. I'm pretty sure so many years have passed. Why don't you ask for help or tell your kids, hey, get it together if you guys want this for me?
It seems like it's a little bit of what you were saying before, a little bit of the ego, the bravado, because when he's in front of everybody, he's saying, well, maybe the people who said they got sick are lying.
Yes.
It's just 9 people. Maybe they were lying, which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
And, oh, no. That chicken that's obviously gross and disgusting, we made it today. Right? But then, do you feel like that's just because he's in front of people? Because when they were back in the office, he really opened up to Ramsay and was really honest. Like, I'm not really about this. I never really wanted the restaurant, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
right?
I think he just put like a front in front of everybody, like his wife said, he's a military man. Yeah. He's all about respect, and Gordon Ramsay coming in here and not even introducing himself, passing by his wife.
Awesome.
Right? Yeah.
I don't care. That's awesome. That should happen every single episode. Every episode, Gordon should just ghost somebody straight by. And as he did this episode, and as he also did this episode, he should shove rotten food in people's faces. And like, you gotta learn.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. And it's just kind of, she said that it was, he's a military man, he thinks he's all about respect and everything.
Right.
But like Gordon Ramsay said, you're about respect, but you're not respecting, your kid's future, your father's legacy, like you said, so that's respect as well.
Well, that's what we said when we were watching. Remember, Gordon said to the kids, you're going to be left with nothing to inherit. And I said, that's not true. They're going to inherit a ton of debt because this restaurant is going to be in big trouble.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, we didn't talk about it during the show. Real quick, when they were in the office, Nick did a 360. Excuse me, that would be the same thing. He did a 180. He did a straight turnaround, and he basically told Gordon, you reignited that spark. I do want to make this work. Does that come off as phony to you? As it was, well, if you've been failing for this many years, did you need this British dude to come in and yell at you to be like, you know what, I really do want to own a restaurant and I am going to do a good job and label all my food that's rotting and stuff like that. Did that seem phony to you?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it seemed phony, but it was just kind of like, okay, you said that this wasn't your passion, that, Gordon Ramsay gave him option. Maybe you need to sell this place. And he even thought about it. He's like, yeah, I have to let go. Or, so it was just kind of like, so do you want this place?
Right. Because then all of a sudden it was, yes, I do want it.
I do want it. So exactly. I don't know. So I don't know if it's for the show or if he, truly really wanted to work on it and be like, well, what else do I have now besides this place? I've given, his whole life to that place. So,
and I'm just pointing it out. I hope he does really want it because obviously he's going to go on to keep it. And I loved what he said when he said it was overwhelming how much trouble they're in and how out of control he is with it. Yeah. So that to me was an immediate red flag and warning sign. And then immediately we go over to Hell on Wheels, the truck where there's people constantly cooking food. And Nick does a little bit of training. But what I love was that then Gordon brought the kids in because in order for Nick to be able to take a step back and for him to be able to get a handle and to not be overwhelmed, the kids have to step up. Right? What did you think of how they did in the chef cooking prep and taking on a new role?
I think they did a really good job. I feel like they got really excited about the new menu, which it looked really good too.
Classic. Again, the original menu was 20 pages long. It had advertisement in it, which is probably not the right way to go, man, if no one's coming in the restaurant anyway. That sounds like a real straight up, I'm from Jersey, man. That's like a Jersey diner thing. We get the paper placemats and there's ads all over, whatever, and no one cares. But slimming down the menu so it's a few dishes they can cook really well. Like I said, the menu, I think what sparked them was the menu. It's a different menu, more fresh, more clean, more to the point, not like 10 different items in one plate and everything just being basically microwaved or whatever they were serving before. So I think that really helped. But like you said, Nick Sr., he needed them to step up and them to take that role as well because he was just very controlling. I was going to say just that. You hit it. I think Nick was has been overbearing. And stifling the kids being able to step up even. And I think because of that, they just took a back seat by nature and said, you know what, Dad's not going to let us do it anyway, so we're going to go do whatever. Exactly. And, I felt like they felt stressed too. Well, they're like, well, our dad's not letting us help us, so what are we going to do then? Exactly. Not just be in that restaurant. And so I was very excited to see them step up. They did a good job cooking the new food. Who we get real scared about are the line cooks, who are supposed to be cooks, but have never chopped an onion before. Oh my God, yes. Are they exaggerating? Ramsay's chef, she looked real serious about it. She looked like, what the hell? What is going on? He was trying to chop an onion,
And
with a paring knife.
Yeah, and apparently he was like squishing it down or something. Like, I don't know.
They're in big trouble. And this is the guy cooking the swordfish and the proteins and stuff. They're in huge trouble.
They are.
Okay, whatever. They're fine, I guess. The kids are up to speed. We know from both of them, Ramsay, I thought this was great too. Gordon goes, talks to them together. Do you really want to do this? And they both said yes. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, they did.
We've got the support. You know Nick's wife is going to support him. And Nick is in it. He wants it again. So we've got the family kind of back together again. Of course, Gordon's team has done their magic to the restaurant. We're into the reveal kind of stage now. What did you think of the remodel from a physical standpoint?
I like that they kept some of the old stuff, like the old paintings and stuff. I like, because I was a little scared for a second because the paintings were really nice. I don't know about the colors and the rainbow mess that they had going on, but I did like the paintings, and I was really excited and happy that they did keep those paintings and they did some kind of work. But it looked really good. It looked more calmed, more beautiful, more peaceful, and somewhere where you can really sit down and enjoy your meal. And it just looked like a real Mexican restaurant, like.
I agree. I also like that they kept the pictures there. But what I was going to say was I actually thought the remodel was underwhelming.
Right.
They didn't do that much stuff. They basically took the walls that were this garish green and they made it a more neutral color. Right. Which on the one hand for me, I say, okay, that's underwhelming. That's not very exciting. Yeah. But on the other hand, as we've said over week after week after week, you don't have to go crazy remodeling a restaurant to refresh it, make it new and vibrant. Chef Wayne, who was on our show last week, he said they look at paint constantly throughout the year. They're constantly doing touch-ups, making sure everything is fresh and on point. And then every so often, I forget the timeline that he said, but chairs are replaced, tabletops, everything. So if you're going to own a restaurant, you really got to be on top of it. But again, if you're looking to do something and to spark, some new fire in the restaurant, a simple coat of paint, it's not that big a deal. This was not a huge dramatic transformation.
It wasn't. I feel like the last episode I was in, and it just took a while, I guess, for them to actually fix it and stuff.
Right.
This one, I feel like we didn't focus too much on the remodeling. I think
Very little.
We focused a lot on the family and them trying to like, hey, are you guys going to keep this or not? Like,
exactly. Yeah. And their skills and their dedication.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, you're running a restaurant, keep it clean. Yeah. Order proper amounts and label everything so it doesn't get rotten. And slap some coats of paint on it and keep everything fresh. Yeah. It's really, really simple. So we got the relaunch. Main problem, and I wanted to know what you thought of this, was really communication in the kitchen. Yes. It seems like they were not used to communicating at all before this, and a little of that is carrying into the relaunch.
Yeah. I think it was the communication was really a big thing for them. Like you said, Nick, he was just very controlling. So if, of course the cooks or anybody else wasn't paying attention, he would just, get up and do what he wanted them to do it himself, instead of telling them, hey, I told you to do this, go ahead and do it. Yep. And that's it. No questions asked. So he was so used to taking control that he wasn't used to someone talking to him or just standing there not doing nothing about it. You
Giving
could tell
times back and things like a normal kitchen runs.
So I think that was like urging, like he was getting so annoyed too at the same time, even though he was thankful, but he was trying to compose himself. He did a good job too.
He's got to relearn some stuff as well.
He did.
The food that initially came out for their test run, it was really cold, but it seems like they adjusted very quickly and they were putting out good food. The people who came back seemed to love it, and they ended up in a really, really good place. How did you think at the very end? What was your takeaway feeling?
I mean, I really hope that, they're on it and they're just very, they stick with it, and, hopefully they're still in the business. I really enjoyed the communication, everything, when they all just work together and we're just on the same page. And,
it's good to see.
Yeah, it is good to see.
Hopefully they continue that forward.
Yeah,
right?
And then the parents were able to take a vacation for one
a vacation.
day. Yeah, I feel like he needed that vacation really, really bad. And I like that both kids actually stepped up.
Where did they get the money for that vacation?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm glad they took it. I hope they went somewhere better than just like down to Hollywood or something like that, because that's not great.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good episode. We like
Loved
where
it.
they ended. Here's the big question. This is our first special segment. Jennifer,
Yes.
would you eat at Los Toros?
I would have to say no.
You would not.
I would not.
After the remodel, you wouldn't give him a shot?
No.
Why not?
You know, the meat really, really scared me.
Okay.
And yes, I know.
Fair point.
Yeah, no, the meat just really
Fair
scared
point.
me. The prepackaged tamales really scared me. You know, I have a godmother. She owns a bakery and she makes tamales, every week.
And the
for the
reason there are never any tamales in AfterBuzz?
Oh my God, I need to bring you guys some. All of you guys. Yes.
Shouldn't have said that.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm going to bring you guys tamales.
It's on YouTube forever now. Bring us food.
Yes, I will. I will.
So you wouldn't eat there?
No.
Okay.
It's just the meat really just scared me, and just the fact that he kept saying like, oh, it was today and the meat was green.
Right.
And it's just, that really, really just, I don't know.
I was going to say yes, that I would eat there, but now you've scared me off from it. I understand that. And that just speaks to you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Exactly.
Right?
There you
These
go.
people have lost you. I'm sure they haven't lost a lot. I'm sure all these restaurants get a really decent bump after
Yeah.
being on the show. People at least in the area wanting to go and try it out.
At least try it out. Yes.
Sure. And that takes us to our second special segment, which is we love to go on Yelp and check out how these restaurants are doing. Now, a lot of the episodes this season, thank you, Jonathan. A lot of the episodes this season, their Yelp, not been very impressive. Not have a lot of reviews
Right.
to start out with. In the teens, maybe. Not the case with Los Toros.
Yeah.
1,389 reviews they have on Yelp. That's impressive.
That is
in and of
impressive.
itself.
Yeah.
However, they only have 3-star.
Wow.
Now, I know, do you have a Yelp rule? Because Zia will only eat at restaurants that are at least 3 stars as a base rule.
I have to have 5.
You got what?
I'm really picky.
Where do you eat?
No. And there's a
Wait
lot
a minute. If you... Wait.
No, wait.
Time out.
Wait.
That's how you know this is not scripted.
No.
If you got a restaurant that has like 4,000 reviews and they have 4.5 stars, you're not going to go?
No. There's
You know people fake Yelp reviews, right? And like write some crap.
I do.
Okay.
But you know what? I've been very lucky, very, very lucky that when I do read the reviews and they do have 5s, most of the time the food is really great. And
Well, yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know.
You're saying that the overall thing has got to be a 5 for you to go?
Okay, maybe 4.5.
It's a tough customer over here. Okay. Well, Los Toros is not doing so great.
No, they're
I
not.
go back and the 3 most recent reviews are good. They're all within the last 2 days.
Oh.
When we start to go before that, even 3-4 days ago, down to 1 star, 3 star, 1 star, 2 star. A lot of people talking about a lack of cleanliness, which is unacceptable. Not good tasting food and really, really bad wait times, and bad wait times that the owners and the managers are doing nothing to help out with. No one's coming out and saying, we're working on it. We're going to seat you guys. So not looking really good. And we know based on when this show was shot, it wasn't shot in February. So a lot of these 1-star reviews are in February.
Yeah.
So it's not sounding so good.
It's not sounding any good,
Let's
yeah.
hope they take. I do see the owner active in Yelp, which is good that he's commenting
Yeah,
back.
I did see that. I did
Yep.
see that.
So that's good. Maybe he can take some of these comments to heart and do some changes.
Yeah, I really hope so. Especially now that the episode's out too. I feel like that would be a little more pressure for
Right,
him.
right.
Because like you, me, and anybody else, we like to go see like, hey, let me see their Yelp reviews.
Yeah,
after,
of course.
with any show like this, especially when it's here in like your hometown too.
Right.
You really want to see like, hey, I
Well,
want to go see.
Jennifer, they're going to need about another 5,000 5-star reviews for you to even step foot
Yes.
on the premises. So
Yes.
that's a no-go from you. But very exciting. It seems like
Yes.
next episode is the last episode of the season, a 2-hour finale. That's going to be exciting. It's probably going to be a really bad restaurant
Oh my God,
that Gordon's
yes.
got to do up. Until then, thank you for coming back on
Thank you
our
for having
show.
me again.
Absolutely. Before we go, tell all of our friends out there where they can find you.
Hey everyone, you guys can find me at Jen Lopez _89.
And guys, I am your host, Mike Thieling. You can find me everywhere at Mike Thieling. Until next week, go eat a tamale.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.